Hi, I'm ERROL GULDEN. And I'm Barry O'Connor, and you're listening to the Premier League Nightclub.
Hello, everybody, and welcome.
Chavez, he's done it! 4! Balotelli, Aguero! Cahill! Tim Cahill has done it again! What a goal by Tim Cahill!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Premier League Nightclub podcast. My name is Damon. With me, I have Woody, and this episode, of course, is brought to you by ArrowSport, the number one kit maker in the business, arrowsport.com.au. Go check them out. It's a very, very special episode today. We are joined by two people for the very first time, although when I say first time, they've been on, but not at the same time. ERROL GULDEN and Barry O'Connor, thank you so much for coming on.
Cheers, lads. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. So what do you gents been up to? Obviously, you've both had, a few massive months back into the AFL preseason. What's been happening with you guys up in Sydney?
Oh, yeah. So the AFL season obviously started last week, which was good fun. But since Christmas, we've just been back on the grind, training and watching plenty of Premier League. And I've been watching a bit of Champions League. Obviously, Barry, being an Arsenal supporter, hasn't been able to. But started pretty early. Yeah, you can do it.
Have you boys been sort of, I guess, in the last, we'll get into like the last week a little bit later on, but, from when, Barry, we spoke to you, it's probably like 8 months ago now, so like 6 to 8 months ago. I can't really remember, but it must have been during like the first or second big lockdown, and ERROL obviously spoke to you about 2-3 months ago. Has a lot changed for you, Barry, in the last, say, 6 to 8 months? Obviously, you've got a little bit more of a picture now on how your season might look with being able to actually play, which is nice. How's that going for you?
I think it was in the first lockdown because we only had one in Sydney, thankfully. But
that makes sense.
When the season resumed again, I actually hadn't played a game of footy yet, and I think it was June or July at that stage. So, as you might have heard, the reserves teams just had to make do and play scratch matches against each other. So it often meant that sometimes with like reduced numbers and injuries on different lists that we had to play like 15-a-side games, or I think we even played one against Melbourne that was like 12-a-side one day. We weren't allowed to use top-ups or outside players because of COVID and stuff. So it was pretty strange playing my first game of the footy, and they weren't actually real games of footy, so to speak. And I only played my first 18v18 game at the start of this season. So it was something that I realised the other day. There's a lot less space on the ground, so it's a bit easier for a key defender. But I suppose for my own development, I've been progressing pretty well. It's a tough process, obviously, when you haven't played the game before and you're trying to learn it. You're trying to, I suppose, get up to these guys' level, and they're also progressing at the same time. They're improving as well, so it's not easy. But I've noticed this year and even the last couple of weeks that I've made some big strides. So I'll be playing VFL for the foreseeable future, and we'll be down to Melbourne for a few games. So I'm looking forward to that. And it's just good to have a bit more structure to it this year and not have to, I suppose, go week to week hoping that you might get a game or that you find an opposite team to play. So yeah, it's been good.
No, definitely keen to see you in action and putting your big fist to use as a lockdown key defender. So are you more of a fist guy? Are you more of a wraparound cuddle? Like what's your style?
I don't know. I'm still kind of working out with my style, to be honest. Some days I find I do one thing really well, and then the next day you might be terrible at it, but something else might come to fruition. I found there's certain games that I might come off and take a few marks. I'm like, well, all right, that's pretty easy. Let's just do it again the next week, and then the next week's a disaster. So, obviously, ideally, I'd like to have a bit of everything in my game. We've got some pretty good key defenders at our own club. We've got Tom McCarron, who's moved down from the forward line this year, and he's an incredible intercept marker. And then you've got someone like Dane Rampey, who, in my opinion, is probably the best defender in the game. He's criminally underrated as well, being up in Sydney. But I'm just trying to learn off those guys all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Well, boys, when you got drafted, if I'm correct, that's about November time, and you do a little bit of training pre-Christmas. What was it like coming in from the Barry perspective, I know we spoke about it last time, but Barry, did you have to sort of have any role in taking in the new boys and making sure they settle in nicely? Or was Errol, did you know people already coming through from the Sydney Academy?
Yeah, I had a pretty good relationship with a few of the boys. Obviously, last year with what happened, I didn't get to play any kind of Swans reserves or anything, which I would have if it had been a normal year, and I would have been able to train a little bit as well. But no, I already had a pretty good relationship with a few of the boys. Obviously, with Barry, he'd message me a lot even when he was up in the hub and just see how I'm going, which was really good. And
Awesome.
kind of before the draft, even before the boys had started their preseason, they'd invite me down to the park to have a kick as well, which was good, and do a bit of running with them. Until I was actually allowed to go into the club and be a listed player. But I had a good relationship with a few of the boys, which made it a bit easier to transition initially.
Was that like before or after you knew Barry was an Arsenal supporter, or?
It was definitely before, because I wouldn't have been talking.
Oh shit, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Are you guys actually mates, or do you just like put that persona for this podcast?
No, we are genuinely mates. But we were trained together before Errol got picked up. So he would have trained with the senior squad last year as a under 18 academy player, and obviously we had our sights set on drafting him and Braden. So I'd met him a few times, and then I suppose.
Yeah, well, I had like a few sessions kind of right or pre-Christmas the end of 2019.
Yeah.
And then was supposed to be doing a fair bit more in 2020, but obviously that didn't happen. So I had trained with Barry and a few of the other players before. So
yeah, so it's not a fake. It's not a fake friendship. Don't worry.
Cool. Just wanted to confirm.
Yeah, we don't want to feel like we were just bringing you guys together and you actually hate each other behind closed doors. Errol, obviously massive debut for yourself, 3 snags, rookie of the year nomination as well. Barry, like you said before, head's probably a little bit inflated, as we can see right now. His head's definitely grown in circumference.
He hates that.
No doubt the DMs are filling up with plenty of young hopefuls want to take Errol out in a day or something like that. But
plenty of podcasts asking me to come on.
Mate, your allegiances lie to one podcast. Okay, that's all I can say. The first one's your last one. That's what I like to say. But Errol, how was your debut stepping on the field? Obviously played a huge game. 108 fantasy points. That's obviously no relevance to you. But how was it? What was the experience?
Yeah, well, my old man started playing fantasy this year, so it's relevant to him because he's got me in his team, thankfully, which is good. But no, it was hard to put into words how good it was, like how much fun it was. I think it was the first time that I've played in front of a crowd as well, kind of that big. I think there was 23,000 up there. So, and obviously majority of them were Lions fans. So, when they kicked the first 3 goals at the start of the game, it was pretty loud, and you can kind of get a little bit lost. But it was just so much fun. And I think to win by how much we won by, and to play so well as a team was just, it was. I struggled to really put into words how much fun it was, and just it couldn't have probably gone any better, I think, from a personal note, but as a team, on a team note as well. So,
well, the celebrations definitely weren't calm, we'll put it that way, but which we love, it was good to see. But I was a little bit disappointed that you didn't whip out, say, like a Mo Salah Egyptian pharaoh celebration, like you did against Chelsea, something like that. And surely down the track, maybe, when you become a little bit more established and you can sort of do a little bit more of what you want out there on the field in terms of celebrating, are you definitely going to whip out, say, a Sadio Mane or a Mo Salah celebration?
Maybe like a J-Lings, like the Piper or something.
Yeah,
surely.
Well, on the weekend, I think firstly with those celebrations, I don't even remember what I did. I think it was just pure emotion that came out. So definitely was nothing planned. I think what happened was just
the guns were looking prime, I have to say, mate. The pipes on the man, pretty large.
I don't know about that, but
Cameras are doing
that was just that was probably just a few years of just built up emotion, wanting to play footy for the Swans just kind of came out. But I've been working closely with Will Hayward, trying to get a few FIFA celebrations.
Yes.
So watch your space, I think. That's all we can say.
Please. Well, I think you play Richmond in 2 weeks. So if you haven't been dropped by then, and
Oh, you don't have much faith in them, boys.
No, we have to. We're both fielding you in our fantasy team, so
Yeah,
we sort of
has to,
need him
we
to
have
play.
to.
Like,
But,
if he doesn't play, then he's not coming back on the pod.
I'll be there. So, hopefully it's you're the only one that kicks goals for the Swans on that particular day. But I'm going to keep a lookout for the FIFA celebrations down at the G. It'll be good.
Dan and I actually had a bit of an embarrassing experience. I don't know if we want to talk about this. Oh, it's not really embarrassing. Mate, when we were out the other night, we did
We've done it at least the last 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. Anyway, the last 3 or 4 times we've been out, I reckon we've been in like the corner of like a bar or club, like really nice places, right? Like sort of places you wear a suit jacket to, and we're just fucking doing like most embarrassing stuff, like the Jesse Lingard, the West Ham ones.
Yeah. We've got some interesting looks, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But there's no shame in it because whether you do it in front of 80,000 at the MCG.
If you didn't think we were rare enough, maybe reevaluate. We're pretty weird.
I back that in. I think that's awesome.
You can get away with a lot these days anyway, so I reckon.
I might just wait a little bit and string together maybe more than just one game before I get too out of myself.
No, fair enough. Well, maybe when we get up to Sydney and we actually go for a beer, I don't know if you guys actually want to get a beer with us, but we'll do some like rare celebration.
What if you sit in the corner doing dances?
Mate, what else do you do? There's no other reason I go out actually. Other than that.
Shut up, Woody. Anyway, Barry, I've got a question for you, and obviously we watched the video posted on YouTube a couple of weeks ago now, maybe a month or 2 ago. You were just talking a day in the life of Barry O'Connor. It was a very nice video, and
it's all
we were wondering if the situation, any like sort of further developments, if your family can come down and watch you play, or obviously I was going to say you go up and see them, but obviously during the footy season that's not really an option. But is there any sort of, is there a picture starting to be painted now in what that situation looks like?
Not really, to be honest. It's a pretty tricky one because I haven't seen mum and dad now for over a year. They visited last March or February, and my 2 sisters, I haven't seen them for it's been like 16 months now, which is a pretty strange one. I try not to think about it too much, but COVID situation at home is so bad at the moment, and like in Ireland in particular. I don't want to bore you with the details of vaccine rollouts in Europe and stuff, but it's all moving very slowly and the cases aren't really dropping. It's pretty grim, to be honest, and I feel pretty sorry for all my mates and like kind of young people, my sisters as well. They're not really able to live the life that the young person wants to live. They're pretty much I think they're in like their 3rd or 4th lockdown now, and that obviously means travel isn't going to happen anytime soon, especially not to Australia. So mum and dad definitely, none of them are going to be out here anytime soon, but I'm trying, I suppose the best I can do with regard to footy is trying to get them onto the Fox Footy or get them onto, I don't know, streaming some of the games, because dad was a pretty accomplished athlete back home, and he's a coach for like Gaelic football and hurling, the sports that we play, but he doesn't know anything about AFL, so it's kind of tricky to talk to him about my games and just about how I'm going, because it's a pretty common thing for a young guy to do, like talk to his parents and just chat to them about how they're going. So I can't really do that, which is strange, because you're really sort of, I wouldn't like you're not on your own because you've got all your teammates and your friends out here, but I guess you just haven't got that factor of home with you, and then when they're not even watching you play as well, it's sort of strange. It's hard for me to paint a picture for them, and I'm sure it's even more difficult for them to support me when they actually don't know anything about the game and they can't see me playing either. So it's a tricky one, but there's nothing we can do about it, and I'm pretty lucky to be out here, and I'd still much rather be in Sydney than back home in Ireland at the moment. So plenty to be positive about.
Sure. I just do want to say on that topic-ish, you said that you'd get them to stream the games or watch Fox Footy when they can. Clearly, they have Spotify or iTunes back at home, because I'm pretty sure we're pushing the #1 international podcast in Ireland thanks to your friends and family. The episode we posted with you last year, I think within 12 hours when we woke up, it was already, say, like our top 3 episode ever.
Yeah.
And
it remained that until
I think the only one, it ends up being the most listened to ever up until I think Mark Bosnich.
How many cousins do you have, mate?
Yeah, it was a heap of listens. It just kicked off in Ireland.
There are a lot of O'Connors, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I reckon as maybe a lot. Well, I suppose it wasn't lockdown, so people were just looking for something to do, and
it was awesome. Thank you very much to everybody.
They either wanted to listen to it to laugh at me, or maybe to see what I was up to. But one or the other.
Well, I think the video you posted, Day in the Life of Barry O'Connor, I just wanted to ask, how often do you actually go hurling?
Oh. No, we do go, myself and Colin. We should go more, but like once every
Errol,
few
have you
weeks,
ever picked up a
maybe.
stick and given it a whack?
A hurling stick or just any stick?
No, well, I mean, I assume a hurling stick, but
Nah, I didn't even know what hurling was till I saw the video. So
Yeah, I'll have to show, or I'll have to bring you for a puck.
looks like ice hockey.
it looks pretty fast, so pretty technical.
High skilled game.
High skilled game.
Right. It's the best game in the world. Sorry for your
What?
but soccer and footy opinions, but no, it's no, it is. It's you'd have to go to the game to really experience it, but I think it's the fastest field sport in the world.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Errol, you're definitely not convinced. Definitely not convinced.
No, it's just probably because he's Irish. It's like that loyalty. If it's the best game in the world, how come only one country plays it?
You can say the same about AFL.
It sounds like an argument I've heard many times about the game we played down here in Melbourne. But anyway.
I think it's about time we actually get into a bit of Premier League talk, because, I mean, do you guys ever argue like who's the better mid-table team, or like what sort of goes on?
Well, I kind of got into the habit of, because I've sort of conceded that Arsenal are like we're just a poor team at the moment. So Arsenal, I'm pretty bulletproof to Arsenal results, and it doesn't really affect me. I'm pretty happy when we win, but when we lose, it's not surprising.
So AKA he's a fake fan.
No. I still watch every.
Follows them when they win.
No, I still watch every game, but I'm just emotionally, I'm finished with them. I just can't.
That's bad.
But whenever I got great pleasure in just walking up to Errol in the changing room before training over the last few weeks and months, just with the results of the Liverpool game and just putting it in his face. Which is, you really get angry about that, don't you?
Yeah, we know, because he reacts to all of our stories, and we think he's genuinely pissed off at us.
No, he was. He actually was.
Which
Like,
loss?
look at these blokes sending me this. I'm not going on. But no, plenty of beef, and we're playing each other this weekend, or no, in the next game week. So bragging rights on the line there.
We don't need no bragging rights, mate. We're above you on the table, and we're playing in the Champions League. You're in Europa League, and you're below us. So there's nothing to. There's not even a challenge. Like,
I reckon we have a better chance of winning the Europa League than you do for the Champions League.
Keyword there, Europa.
And you're not going to qualify for the Champions League next year, and we are. So
you're not going to qualify for the Champions League.
Mate, if you win the Europa, you're in the Champions League.
Yeah, but you're not going to win the Europa League, mate.
Better us United.
I think we should just put ourselves on mute. What are we going to let them take it away? Wait, Barry, did you actually say you watched every game? Is that just you're just saying this for the podcast, or do you actually make a conscious effort to watch all of them?
Oh no, I'm not like Errol. Like I put my footy career first. I don't get up at 3 a.m. to watch them. But I wouldn't be able to function if I did that. No way. So I watch.
I wouldn't be able to function being an Arsenal fan.
I watch the extended highlights.
So you don't even watch a full replay. You just
if
watch extended highlights.
If it's an early game, I watch it. But like, I'm still watching the games, and like I'm watching the ones that I can watch that I'm not in bed for.
You may as well just like look at like FIFA Team of the Week.
That's good enough. All right.
So Errol, I think last time we chatted to you, you said that I think because we spoke to you after you got drafted, obviously earlier this year, but you just sort of got into the preseason, and you were saying that it's pretty hard to sort of get up and still watch games and then rock up for footy. Now that you're more accustomed to like the preseason regime and the football regime, do you sacrifice a little bit, like the first 30 minutes of training not late, but like effort wise to, make up and watch the game in the morning.
Recorded and put out to the public. You can't say that.
I 100% do not do that. If it's like a Monday morning game, it's hard to not be able to look at the score when I've got certain teammates showing me the result in my face right before training. But if it's like one of the 3:30 games, I won't be getting up for those if I've got training that Monday. Because as you probably know, sleep is the best form of recovery, and they've been really big on, especially us younger boys, first and second year. We've had a lot of presentations about how important our sleep is, and we got to fill in, before every main session, how much sleep we have and how we slept and all that sort of stuff. So I can't get away with it anymore, unfortunately. But when the weekend games, like the Saturday or the Sunday morning, or even they're playing a lot of midweek games that kick off at 7 a.m. So actually come in where we're sitting now in the players' lounge. I get to the club at 7, and they've got a little breakfast station there. So I'll get some breakfast here and then chuck it on. And usually I can watch about the first 60 or 70 minutes of the game if it's 7 a.m. kickoff. So it's good. It's good with Champions League. We've had the games wrapped up by 70 minutes the past 2 times. So no, that's been good. But yeah, if it's a Monday morning, like a 3:30 kickoff or something like that, it's becoming a bit too hard to kind of get up and watch, which is a bit shit. But means I'm playing AFL, so that's all right.
Yeah. Have the boys around the club, say at training, if you lay a big tackle or something at 8 a.m. on a Wednesday morning training, they're just like, Errol, relax, Liverpool lose this morning or something. Like, is there any of that going around?
There is actually, I think it's pretty noticeable. My mood changed.
Very noticeable. It's very noticeable.
I think Baz and there's a couple other boys, Lewis Melican and Sam Gray, who and George as well, George Hewitt. They'll rip into me if they notice that I'm a bit flat about a result, and they'll make me feel even worse about myself, which is good. So.
Demo, I reckon something you and Eric probably share is that if United lose.
Yeah, well, the good thing, when I was at school, I found school the hardest.
School was the hardest.
Just like you do at the footy club.
Yeah.
We used to rock up, say, an hour early for school and attach one of our laptops to the big screen, the big projectors in the classroom. And there'd be, if there was a big game, it'd be like,
I think 30, I think it was a Manchester United versus Real Madrid Champions League game.
Champions League.
And then Ronaldo absolutely crucifies Evra, puts it in, out jumps in the back post.
Yeah.
I don't think we went to first period. We were almost in tears. It was just
kids can be incredibly mean, and obviously football makes you emotional
well, you deserve it being United fans.
Oh, sorry. I can't see you down there. What's it like down there mid-table?
Remember when he said we wouldn't make top 4?
Yeah, I know. You guys aren't even going to make Europe, let alone Europa.
Oh. Shoney's got the last trophy. Whoever said that.
We still have more trophies, don't we?
I think we do.
We do.
I think we're two behind. But yeah, okay. So you think Liverpool sits 7th?
They sit 7th, could be 8th. And Arsenal.
So this is what I was going to say. The games in hand are a little bit misleading. And Errol, last time we had you on, you made a conscious effort to tell us that if City won their games in hand, we'd be 2nd. So we're going to make a conscious effort and say that the teams below you won their games in hand, you'd actually be 8th. So I'm just going off your own logic here. At what point does it, and this goes for you as well, Barry, when you go into a season, you're obviously winning with incredibly different expectations. Arsenal, top 10 finish would have been a success. Liverpool, you wanted in the league. And now you're both sort of dwindling in the middle. Does it become sort of a situation where, do you want to prioritise the Champions League and do you want to prioritise the Europa League? Does losing to Fulham at Anfield 1-0 bother you anymore because the season's done? How are you feeling towards your Premier League clubs in that sense?
I'm just trying to think of a way that I can put this. So without Van Dijk, or pretty much without half our team, I guess it'd be like Fernandes without penalties. You wouldn't be winning any games. So that's kind of the best way I can put it.
Salt.
It's like a game. It's like when the ref blows the whistle for full time, then awards a penalty after the game. It's like that not happening for United. So that's kind of, that's how our season's been a bit. Obviously, I guess I try to put it in terms of how you'd be understanding being a Man United fan. But yeah, that's all I got to say on that.
Errol, you've scored the same amount of goals at Anfield in open play as Salah, and you have a crack at Bruno for his penalties.
I'm just saying, it would be if he didn't have his penalties, he would be nothing, which is kind of what we've been like this year without half our team, which is just fair enough.
All right, clearly Errol's a little bit emotional. Barry, how about yourself? How are you feeling about the Guns?
I don't know. I was saying to Errol earlier, it's sort of a strange one this year because, like, a couple of years ago with Wenger and stuff, we were getting top 4 finishes nearly every year. I think we got out of like the Champions League group, I think a record number of years in a row, but that was still unacceptable by the supporters of Arsenal standards. But now we're in 10th place with Mikel Arteta. We're scraping past Olympiacos in the Europa League, and I think people seem to be more positive about the club now than what they were a few years ago, which is really strange. 10th. We're still 10th, yeah. It's it's a weird one. Like, I don't know. There's loads of positives, like with regard to like young players and stuff. And like some of the performances have been really encouraging compared to, like, we had some awful games under Unai Emery. I remember, like, the defending was like laughable at some stages, which I feel like those things have improved a bit, but we're just not a top quality team anymore, unfortunately.
They're not good, is what you're trying to say.
Well, at the moment, no, we're not. It's kind of hard. I don't like admitting it, but you'd like to hope if we've got rid of a lot of the, I suppose, your Mustafis and Socrates and the likes of those guys. So that's a positive. And you'd hope if we can keep hold of like Smith Rowe and Saka and these guys, like Kieran Tierney, he's probably going to be the future captain of the club. And
still not the best Scottish left back there.
At the moment, he is.
No, he's not.
I reckon he is at the moment. But
no, he's not.
You've had your say.
I'm just helping you out.
But I reckon even though things are pretty bad at the moment, there's plenty to be positive about. We have a good opportunity to win the Europa League now, so I reckon we should be putting most of our focus into that. Like, top 4 is kind of out of reach at this stage.
Baz, we might have to have you on for a third time because I think the way the draws worked out, United and Arsenal, if they get through, we're meeting you guys in the final.
The Europa League, yeah.
So
are we on different sides?
Yeah, different sides. Yeah. I'll put it.
Enjoy that one, fellas.
Well, I'll put it to you this way though. Like, United, Arsenal, Chelsea have all recently gone through the path of hiring.
He doesn't stop. Seriously, Errol, give us a break, mate.
We've all gone through the
Pissed
path.
himself as
Woody, can I ask a question? We've all gone through the path of hiring a club legend. Obviously, Lampard recently got the sack a couple of months ago, and I'd say at the time everyone thought it was incredibly harsh. And then obviously now Tuchel's done an incredible job. It's like some sort of record the amount of clean sheets they're keeping. They're flying at the moment, and suddenly they're probably, you probably say second best team in the league, to be honest, behind City in terms of form. Does it sort of give you a little bit of concern about, say, like, as a United fan, I'm not gonna lie, I've thought, geez, Solskjaer's done a decent job so far, and you just spoke about the positivity around Arteta, but is there a coat of rose-colored glasses when looking at these guys, when, say, maybe we should have got Tuchel, or maybe we should go get Pochettino when he was available? Like, is there a little bit of element of that now that you've seen the result of changing from a club legend?
Oh, it's a tricky one. Like, even just being part of a professional sporting team right now, like, nobody, unless you're inside the 4 walls of the club, you really have no idea what's going on or what the coaches are like, or who's having the biggest influence or whatnot. So I just try and pay attention to what the players are saying, and all of the players seem to back Arteta, and they've great faith in his football knowledge and his tactical prowess or whatever. I'd value that more than maybe the results we're getting at the moment and the style of play that he's trying to enforce. Whereas I think with, like, no offense to you guys, but with Solskjaer, like, there's a lot of, you can tell there was a lot of United players that were, like, not a lot, but, like, they're not fully convinced with him. I feel like with him, he kind of lets them have their way a little bit more.
Mhm.
And Arteta is kind of really trying to get them all on board with his style of play and his philosophy around football or whatever. But I feel like there's a bit of a difference between him and Solskjaer in that regard. I'm not sure how successful he's going to be, but I feel like with Ollie, it's going to come to an end at some stage. One way or another.
That's
Invite
pretty
these
stiff,
two
I reckon.
boys on, and
what
everyone just goes
do you
whack,
think?
and Barry pretends he's being nice, and then goes whack as well.
No, but like that's what I genuinely think. I reckon he's done a really good job so far, but I do think he's really
Everyone's face in the background.
Seriously.
no. But do you think he's genuinely a good manager?
I don't think he's the best manager we could have got, but I think we can still get there with him.
I probably buy into this idea that this idea of is he the right man for the job? I think there can be more than one right man for the job. And I think if we won, look, I was about to say if we won 4 trophies with
Try not to rant here.
Yeah, if we won 4 trophies with Poch or 3 with Solskjaer, I'll never sit here and say I prefer the ones with Solskjaer because of the club legend. At the end of the day, the club's bigger than anybody that can manage or play for them. But there is certainly an element of if you believe you can have success with 2 or 3 different managers, and you honestly believe there's no difference between, say, Pochettino or even an Allegri, who I think is available at the moment, I don't mind going with Solskjaer and trying to, you also probably have that element of long term as well. Arteta's never going to leave Arsenal by choice. Or he might leave by choice if the form's really bad, but it'd be extraordinary if Solskjaer, Arteta, and we saw with Lampard, if they don't get sacked eventually, you can never see them actually leaving. I think that comes back to like a Wenger and a Ferguson thing as well.
That's a good point.
So I think
as well with
back that in?
Yeah, and that's a good point. I reckon when you say with the rose tinted glasses, I wouldn't have the same fondness for Arteta that I would for Thierry Henry or something. I would be fully biased towards him if he was to get given the job of Arsenal manager, regardless of what the players thought of him. I would just want him to be there for as long as possible because of what he did as a player. But Arteta was only there for a couple. He was there for a few years after a pretty long career at Everton. He's, I think as a manager or as a football coach, he's got a pretty good CV and stuff. So I don't think I have those rose tinted glasses. But that's a good point that you make about the longevity of them. He's definitely one that isn't going to leave by choice.
Now, Errol, I can see you sort of sitting there brooding. You look like you're about to kill someone. But I have to ask, I think the last time we had you on, we asked you if you could sort of remove one of the front 3 from Liverpool, whether they Mane, Firmino, or Salah. I'm pretty sure. Do you remember who you said?
I think I said Mane, didn't I?
Yeah. And the reason why I ask is because I'd love to know, obviously you said before that, you guys have a significant amount of injuries, which personally, I think the media has overplayed. You have plenty of depth in your squad. But would you still go for that decision of pulling out a Mane if you had to pick one of the 3?
Yeah, 100%.
Jeez.
I think.
Okay. So do you still think Thiago is one of the best number 6s in the world?
Yes, and I think the reason is because he's at the
because he passes sideways.
Shut up!
He's had to play out of position because there's been no Fabinho. I think he's been unreal when Fabinho has been playing in the midfield, and when they've had Kabak and Nat Phillips play centre back, and that meant that Fabinho is able to play in the midfield, and that makes Thiago look like a much better player. And I would still take Mane out. I think he hasn't been great this year, but I think Salah's just showing how good he is, regardless of how shit Liverpool have been. He's still been scoring goals, and I think Firmino's he's my favourite player, or one of my favourite players.
He's on the back of his jersey.
Yeah, he's on the back. You can't really say that. He's on the back of the shirt.
How many jerseys do you have, by the way? I swear you've got a Salah, Firmino, and Mane.
No, I've got Van Dijk, Thiago, Firmino, Trent. I got 2 Firmino.
I should have worn mine today.
Yeah.
My Arsenal jersey, not my Liverpool jersey.
Your Liverpool
No,
jersey?
I said not my Liverpool jersey.
Oh.
I should have worn my Arsenal one. I didn't realise you were going full horn.
No, well, I just thought, it's a Premier League podcast, so I might as well.
Mate, we're not even wearing our jerseys.
I'm pretty sure. Is it a different kit to what you wore last time? I think it might be. I think you might have worn the Thiago one last time.
Yeah, well, I know I wore the home one, I think, last time. I got all 3 this year. So,
How good.
Yeah, you can remember 10.
It's
Big
incredible
numbers.
what you can purchase on an AFL contract now, isn't it? You can afford to buy all 3 proper kits.
well, actually, my brother bought this one, and it was too small for him, so I got this one off him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Result.
I'd probably use it as a rag as well if I was him. So
It's just ordinary.
unnecessary slander.
Oh wait, this is what you've been saying. This is the only thing that's come out of your mouth is slander today. I reckon.
Your chat right then was about as good as Fred's pass back to the keeper the other day.
Oh, I mean, that's almost acceptable considering some of the saves that Allison's attempted to make this season. I swear it's been carriers. I don't know. Damn, I got lost at some point.
Let's not get into some heated debate here because we do only have a certain amount of time. So, as usual, we hit out some questions to the people on social media, and we did it very, very late this time, Woodrow. And we actually
literally with about like 45 minutes before we recorded.
Yeah, and we've actually got quite a few questions, unbelievably. Like, just proves how popular you two must be. So, anyway, let's get stuck into some social media source. I agree with you. We're just still the worst name for a segment we have on this podcast.
Yep.
What did he say?
Social media source.
Don't laugh. We're still trying to find a name.
All right. First up, we actually got 2 questions about Buddy Franklin, so we thought we'd just get them out of the way because it was inevitable. We're pretty sure we asked this last time, but firstly, does Buddy Franklin have a Premier League club?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Sorry, lads.
Yeah.
That's all good. And then that was from @Jezza Wilson. Another one from @Horton96 Horton just basically asked, well, what's it like being in the dressing room with Buddy Franklin? But from what you told me, you've probably trained with him. Oh, I guess he's been injured for a while. But did you know him before you arrived, both of you?
I obviously knew who he was. I don't think he knew who I was. But I trained like a couple of times when I was in the academy, and even being in academy, like when you'd go and train with the seniors, you'd basically just defend the entire time and be in a bib and maybe get 1 or 2 goes to go on in the attacking drills. But I just ever since, even when I was doing that, he was just so welcoming and always passing down knowledge, and he'd look to give it to the young kids, even like the academy boys when I was training with him. And I think it just kind of shows like the character of person he is and how good of a bloke he is. And my locker is obviously pretty close to his, being number 21 as well. So, always like chatting to him in the locker room about, he's always asking me how I'm going. And obviously he's got an amazing knowledge of the game. He's one of the best to ever play it. So I think running out there with him this weekend will just be unreal. And hopefully he can kick out. I think he's only got like 46 or 52 or something goals until he gets to 1,000 goals. So
yeah,
love to be playing with him when he does that.
Have you ever matched up on him, Bats?
Yeah, well, he played with the reserves last week. I reckon it could have been I think it was like his first Resi's game since his first or second year at Hawthorn. So, I second most of what Errol said. Obviously, I had no knowledge of the game before I got picked up. So, for me, he was just like another teammate or another bloke. But I think as like the more time you spend with the club, you can tell he just has a presence. He's he's I wouldn't say he's above anyone because he would never say that, but just there's an aura around him. Even just his even him just being on the field with the lads the weekend will give the rest of the team an extra couple of percent. Even before he even kicks the ball. So I'd second what he says about his knowledge and his willingness to help the younger guys. It's not something that he has to do at all, or so I don't think we really even expect it of him. But he's actually incredibly helpful, and when he speaks, everyone listens as well. So yeah, he's a great bloke.
Can imagine.
Nice. At David Pissarro, which Premier League player would do the best in the AFL?
You guys asked me this one. Oh no, you asked me which Irish Premier League player would be the best.
Yeah.
Oh no, you asked me which Premier League player. Yeah.
It probably was a simple question. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say Van Dijk just be probably better than Barry at his job.
Hey.
Nah, Van Dijk.
He'd be a better
So
half.
stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lockdown halfback.
I don't know. I said John Egan, the Sheffield centre back, because he had a background in Gaelic football, so he's able to use his hands.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Did you go listen to your podcast in preparation for this?
Might just
No.
have a good memory. Yeah, come
Oh,
on.
it's a good memory.
No,
Jeez,
I-
you think it is?
I just remember it. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't really.
I'll probably still say him because
It's actually a great answer.
I know our Gaelic skills. Well, they're the reason we get picked up by AFL clubs. So yeah, I'd go with John Egan.
Cool. Next up, at Alejandro_Vivado. This question, we're going to assume it's about the Premier League, because if it was about the AFL, we might be at the center of the next, like, Nat Nui versus Riley O'Brien sort of situation. Are there any players from another club that you don't like, and why? Or Premier League related?
Bruno Fernandes, who's so overrated because all he does is score penalties.
Oh, goodness me.
I'm pretty sure without penalties, United would still be second.
I think so, yeah. It's just a wind-up merchant, is that all?
Literally any United player.
I don't really have a dislike for any players in particular. Maybe Dele Alli sometimes. He, after watching the Spurs doco, I thought his attitude left a bit to be desired sometimes.
Bit of a wanker.
Saying that though, I actually, as much as Arsenal and Spurs fans hate each other, I really like some of some of the Spurs players. I think like Heung-min Son is one of the most likable players in the whole league. Yeah, if I was to say one, Dele Alli.
So I'd change my answer to tied first. Jordan Pickford and Richarlison.
Jeez. You don't even have to say the backstory. You just know.
Just
it.
hate.
Yeah.
Just hate.
Pretty
Passion in the name giving as well. You could tell straight away. And Barry, for what it's worth, though, I actually met someone who went to school with Dele Alli about a year or two ago. And yeah, he said he wasn't the most pleasant person to be around. But that was because, when he was 16, 17, he knew he was good. So, and he made sure everybody knew about it.
Yeah, but that was kind of the reason. I just thought some of his carry on, and even his carry on like in games and stuff when he gets taken off and when he's on the bench isn't the greatest.
Yeah, for sure.
Next one, at Dimos Tree 21, regular contributor to the pod. One transfer and money is no issue. Who are you bringing into your EPL teams?
It's a good question.
Erling Haaland.
Very good shout.
Where would Bobby play? Centre defensive midfield or?
No, just drop back and just play the top of the midfield triangle.
Yep, fair.
Yeah, I go Mbappe. When you said money is no issue. He's best player in the world, and Aubameyang is I think he's the other side of 30 now, and his form isn't great at the moment. So yeah, he could lead the line for the next 10 years.
Nice.
Good answers. Okay. Now you can take this one, Woody, because I know you were a big fan of this question. So you go.
No, I want to take the next one. So you
can take the next two then. Go.
Okay, sure. At Luke DeVille E, what are your pre-draft and post-draft Instagram stocks? And that's for both of you.
I'm not saying this to be cool or anything, but I genuinely wouldn't know, and it wouldn't have risen by that much either. I'm pretty poor on Instagram for posting and stuff, so I did take note though of how much his following or the increase in his following for his game the other day. That's actually a better question for you as opposed to your drafts.
I don't know. I don't want to look like a cockhead, so
It was a couple of thousand, wasn't it?
Three or four.
That's pretty good.
Pretends like he doesn't know.
No, that's
No,
not
cool,
even,
yeah,
that's
pretty-
reflects. That's fair enough.
That's pretty decent. I
That's
like
good
that.
information. And to be fair, like despite the stigma that social media might get, it is somewhat important to get a few followers. It's just reality now, isn't it?
Yeah.
We care about our followers on the podcast.
Yeah, but we're not life in the public eye, mate.
Yeah, but like, don't get me wrong. Errol doesn't finish footy and go, geez, I hope I got he's worried about how many disposals and how the team went, not how many followers he gained. But it is
I've got my
certainly,
burner account too, so
of course, yeah.
Fair. You just need the blue tick. That's all you need.
To go with his 4 Liverpool Twitter accounts, 4 different players on there as the profile picture.
There's 1 comment and then 6 likes, all of which are burner accounts. All right, next one. This is actually my favorite question. T-boot_. I don't know if you guys are allowed to answer this.
You're not allowed to answer this. It's not that bad.
Would you rather fight a horse-sized John Longmire or a John Longmire horse-sized horse?
Oh my god.
Well, that's a great. He's scary enough as it is, I reckon.
No, I don't think he's scary at all.
When he starts spraying blokes, that's scary.
Nah, I think horse just like that.
Yeah, 100%.
He's a great man, but wait. So you're saying one of them is the size of a horse. And
So
the other one is a horse.
I'll say it again because I think I sort of muffled it.
Yeah.
Would you rather fight a horse-sized John Longmire? So maybe I don't know if he's on Forza, or a John Longmire-sized horse.
Oh, John Longmire-sized horse would be nowhere near as scary as him.
Well, like
the size of a horse. That's a smaller horse, or a bigger John Longmire.
Yeah, it's
smaller horse all day.
Yeah, horse has
kicking its leg.
like as in John Longmire has the biggest calves
Yeah,
you've ever seen. So, and he was pretty physically intimidating in his heyday. So, yeah, horse, John Longmire's horse.
Yeah,
I love it.
And the last one, this isn't so much a question, but obviously Daniel Garb, I'm sure you boys are aware of who he is. He wanted us to let you know, Errol, that he enjoyed beating you off the stick at Coast Golf Club yesterday. He sent us a screenshot, actually, which I will get up. But did you go for a hit of golf, Errol? Are we correct in saying that?
I did, yeah. It was a shocking day for it yesterday. It was bloody wet.
So yesterday morning.
Yeah. No, that's I threw the towel in pretty early mentally, so he can take it.
I've got it here.
Sounds like Klopp conceding the title to City. That was probably comparable.
I'm not too familiar. Like, I know how to play golf, but the scorecards, I'm not. Wait, so what does that mean when he goes? ERROL GULDEN,
8.
total 27.
So is your handicap 8?
Is that what it means?
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yes,
that's good. You can. Are you serious? Your handicap 8.
No, he's a great golfer. He's a really good golfer.
Oh, so okay.
Really? Learned something new.
Oh,
and then your handicap's better than Garby's. Then Garby's 11. And yeah, I don't know. Apparently Garby beat you. That's all he wanted us to let you know.
Yeah, I had a mare yesterday. So
that's 9 holes. Is that 9 holes? No.
I think so.
Nah,
I say.
No, I don't know how to read a scorecard. Alrighty.
Yeah.
We got to pick a winner. We forgot to mention that.
Oh yeah, okay. Who was your favorite question? Because that's who's going to get our $30 gift card to our principal sponsor, Arrow Sports, best kit makers in the game.
I like the John Longmire question.
Yeah. We'll have to ask the boys that one. It's a funny question, but the answer is pretty easy.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the
Premier League
player in the AFL is a pretty good one because there's a lot to discuss. What position would they play?
Fair enough. Well, lucky we're not picking it, Damo. So congratulations to who was it? Alejandro Valdo.
At Dave Pissarro. Which Premier League? Yeah. No.
Is it the
you liked which Premier League player would do best in the AFL, right? That was the question that you liked.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Congratulations at David Pissarro. Won $30 voucher.
This one we have not done in about a year. We used to, long story short, we used to get people to ring up, and we used to do a bit of a who am I. Woody was usually the main contestant, and they play against Woody. This time we're going to do it between yourselves. There's 5 rounds, 5 clues. All 5 are players, some ex-players, some current players. It is. I'll give you a clue now and say it's an Arsenal and Liverpool themed show. No,
Why do you say that?
because it's
Okay, all right.
it just makes it a
Go
little
on.
bit more
Yeah,
interesting.
go
Right?
on, go on.
Anyway, so basically, your names are your buzzers. So when you think you know who it is, just say your name and then you get a free shot at it. There's 5 clues per round. But if, let's say, Barry, you had a crack after the second clue and you got it wrong, Errol then gets to listen to the rest of the clues and then make his guess on who it is. So you got to be a bit tactical on when you want to guess.
This.
All right, so
And you only get one guess, don't you?
yeah, and you only get one guess. 5 rounds, obviously. And if neither of you can get it, then no one gets the point for that round. All right, we ready to go?
Yep.
Let's do it. All right. Round 1. I played for one club throughout my whole career. Clue number 2. I won 2 FA Cups and 1 Champions League.
Errol.
Yes.
Is it Stevie J?
No.
No. It's not.
All right,
All right. So
Baz. Now
James
you can actually
Carter.
listen to the rest of the
Oh,
clues.
I went too early.
you know what?
Actually,
As a punishment, we're going to take your answer. But the good thing is you were correct. So you win that round. But just next time listen to all the clues because you would have had a fresh shot at it.
Oh, Gerard went to like America.
Yeah,
didn't he?
yeah. He
Straight
was in
up.
my head straight away.
Yeah, and then the other clues
Actually,
were I supported our biggest rival as a kid. He was actually a big Everton fan. I was a defender, and then the last clue was I'm on UK TV more now than when I actually played, which is true. He's on Sky all the time, so that would have been that. All right, round 2, 1-0 to Barry. First clue, I am English. Second, I am currently currently at my 3rd English club. Since the start of the 2016-17 season, I've won all 4 major trophies possible. So the FA Cup, the
Barry.
Cup, yes,
Exactly what it is.
yes,
Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
that is correct as well. Which is lucky because I accidentally didn't put 5 clues there, so I was really hoping one of you boys would get it. So thank you for that.
So
I was going to
2
go for a second
to
one.
Barry,
Yeah.
0 to Errol.
All right, round 3. I'm currently in my 2nd season in the Premier League. I am a defender. Before coming to the Premier League, I won the best player at my club 3 consecutive times and also won 4 league titles in that time. I am Scottish.
Errol.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is it Turney?
oh yeah.
Sorry,
How did I think of that?
it cut up a little bit. Say that
Kieran
again.
Turney.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. That is 2-1 to Barry still. So yeah, no, see, this is good, Woody. I told you it was better if we made it Arsenal. We told them it was Arsenal Liverpool related. It makes it a little bit easier. All right, round 4. I'm currently at my 2nd Premier League club. In total, I've played 219 Premier League matches and scored 91 goals. I
Barry.
have what? Yes.
William.
No. So Errol, before you guess, you can actually listen to the rest of the clues if you want.
Yeah.
Clue number 3, I have won the Premier League. Clue number 4, I hold the record for the fastest Premier League hat-trick ever.
Sadio Mane.
That is correct. It is
2-2. Big.
All right.
Alrighty.
Is he scored
big one.
91 goals?
91, I believe so, yeah. If I had that wrong, I guess it doesn't matter because you got the answer right anyway.
That could have been William either.
No, the last clue was, well, obviously the fastest Premier League hat-trick is different, but the last clue was I've won the Golden Boot in 2018-19, so yeah. All right, round 5, final round for the win.
I don't know.
I played in Italy and England across 5 different teams. I played in the Premier League from 1996 to 2005, and then in 2010 again for 1 season. I won 3 Premier League titles. I am French.
Barry. Nicholas Anelka.
Wrong.
Oh.
Errol, you can still listen before you guess.
There's one more.
Don't
clue.
screw up.
There's one more
Yeah.
clue. The final
Yeah,
clue
yeah,
is I have an icon card on FIFA.
Oh, Thierry Henry.
Draw.
He not playing.
It's Patrick
Have you got a
Vieira.
bonus question?
Is he French?
It's Patrick Vieira.
And then I could play for like.
I wasn't even born back then.
All right, so how are we gonna say
I
this?
feel like we
Do you reckon we should go back to one of our older quizzes and see if we can get one of the questions?
Okay, yeah. This one won't be Arsenal or Liverpool related.
Did you say he was a midfielder, Vieira? Or did you already specify?
I didn't say any position.
I jumped at Anelka way too quickly. I don't think he even played.
All right, so we've done some last minute scrambling and found ourselves a bonus question. This one, however, to change it up, it's a team, not a player or a manager, just a team. Okay. Are we ready for
Bonus round.
Are we ready? All right.
You better get this. Someone better get this.
Clue number 1. We were promoted into the Premier League at the end of the 17-18 season. In the 2019-20 season, we lost in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. In the 2019-20 season, we had the most draws in the league. Clue number 4, we have won the top division 3 times in our history. Last clue, our manager is Portuguese.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Nuno, or not Nuno, the Wolves.
That is correct. Barry takes it out.
Oh, that was tough. The Wolves only get promoted. Wow.
Yeah, they got promoted and then they've had like 2 top 10 finishes and now they're going for a third.
Mm.
Yeah. Well,
Barry, how do you feel? Big moment, probably the biggest quiz win of your life, no doubt.
Yeah, well, I've settled the score now from last week with them, so we'll have to find another topic to quiz on next week.
You should lose on default for not knowing who the last one, the Arsenal two, Vieira.
Yeah, that was poor for me.
I wasn't alive when he was playing, and I don't go for Arsenal, so you really
You were
should
like
have known
interested.
And Barry's a huge FIFA player as well, so
Yeah, extremes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. I know it's always, we hope it's a bit of fun for you guys to come on. And this one wasn't too structured, but we thought we'd have a chat with, we're not just saying this, our 2 favorite guests, no doubt.
oh, hands down,
100%.
hands down.
And so,
That's great.
I know we probably, to the listeners out there, it's probably a case of they don't realise how much we pester you boys on the socials. For what it's worth, it's mainly him.
Oh, give us a spell.
But we do appreciate how much you interact with us, and it gives our podcast, especially times when it can be a bit dragging. That's for sure. It makes it a lot of fun messaging you boys and interacting with anyone who listens or is on, but especially you boys. So thank you heaps. I believe, quick thank you to Arrow Sport, at Dave Pissarro, gift voucher coming your way. If they want to hit us up on the socials, where can they find us?
Guys, you can find us on Insta at Premier League Nightclub, and you can find us on TikTok at Premier League Nightclub as well. Damon, where can you find us on the Twitter?
You can find us on Twitter at PL Nightclub. And of course, make sure to subscribe on YouTube, which this is being posted. I hope you boys were aware of that. And then, of course, we've got Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, make sure to sub or follow there as well. It helps us big time. Apologies to everybody. I know based on the structure, we were meant to post last week, but hopefully you understand the reason why we waited till this week. And boys, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, lads.
Thank
Cheers.
you so much for having me.